Hello. Hey. Yeah, today has been the day from Hades. I'm not going to keep you all. But today has been a day. I'm starting to really make a connection that I seem to have the most issues on Wednesday. Yes, I will call you. I seem to have the craziest issues on Wednesday, and I think that's just the enemy. Like my stand is broke, so I'm literally holding the phone. So it's like the enemy just tries to come and attack. And it's funny because, what's today's topic is on keeping your word. And I was like, I'm not doing this live today. So it's funny how when you say you're going to do something, the word will come back and convict you. But today was a day. All right, y'all. So I'm still with my homeboy, David. I thought about David today and, hey, Miss Karen and Miss Gills. That's a fruit fly. My daughter got some pineapple over here. And so with David, y'all know I absolutely adore David because I think David is me. Like I have such a heart for God, but I'm so real. And I love the fact that David was just always authentic with God. And so talking about keeping your word. And as we talked about last week with David and Saul and Jonathan, David had made a vow to Jonathan. They were besties. And he made a vow that, he would let him know if his father was trying to kill him. And I think about that. How many of us would go against our own flesh and blood for something that's right? And that's what Jonathan did. His dad was the king. He understood that he could be killed, but he knew that his dad wasn't for the right. And so in 1 Samuel 20 and 17, Jonathan and David reaffirmed his oath out of love for him because he loved him as he loved himself. And sometimes we have to do that. I'm going to start that verse over. It says, and Jonathan had David reaffirm his oath. Sometimes we got to remind people of what their word is. You remember you said, and nobody can do that better than children. If you got children, your kids will tell you, my Nadia, when she was little, she was the worst. Ma, you said we were going to go to Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Ma, you remember you had on that green dress that was too tight? You like, now how come you can remember that, but you can't remember I said, do your homework. You don't remember that, but you remember that I said we were going to Chuck E. Cheese in my too tight green dress. Okay. So, then David also made a vow, even after Saul tried to kill him multiple times in 1 Samuel 24:22, it says, and David swore unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men got them unto the hold. So David let me back up. In 1 Samuel 24:21 is really what I want to read. It says, swear unto me by the Lord that you will not cut off my seed after me, and that you will not destroy the name of my father's house. And so with that vow that was made in 1 Samuel 24:21 and 1 Samuel 20:17, this was, so he made a vow with his son Jonathan, and then he made a vow with the king Saul. And so we know that later on in 2 Samuel, David asked, is there anybody still in the house of Saul? And they told him, yes, he has a grandson that is crippled. He was like, okay, bring him to my table and he's going to eat with me. And he ended up having, the feast and everything with him. And he got all the rights of the king because of a vow that he made to his homeboy years before. And so the same is how we're supposed to be today. So many of us say things in the moment and we don't always keep them. I can be transparent. I'm divorced. So I made a vow with a joker and I was like, oh no, this is not going to work. And so, we dissolved that vow that we had made to one another. And there are some instances you have to make some decisions that you can't continue and you have to create that with you and God. You got to reconcile that to see what's going to be best for you. But I also want to point out a couple of more scriptures. This is going to be quick. In Psalms 15:4, it says, those who despise a flattering sinner and honor the faithful followers of Christ and keep their promise even when it hurts. That one hit home for me because I'm like, dang. Sometimes I'll tell somebody I'm coming to their shindig. And then I'm like, yeah, girl, I can't do it. I'm too tired. I'm too this, I'm too that. But this is saying that we're supposed to keep a promise even if it hurts. And so we have to be mindful of who we and what we're promising to make sure that we're upholding. And in Numbers 30:2, it says, a man who makes a vow to the Lord or makes a pledge under oath must never break it. He must do exactly what he said he would do. And so we have to be careful that, so I'm like real careful about now not making promises to people because I might not be able to keep that. Life could happen and I just cannot keep that promise. So I try to be more mindful of when I say stuff because we're supposed to, according to, as we just read in Psalms 15:4, you're supposed to keep a promise even when it hurts. And then we have Ecclesiastes 5:2, and it says, do not make rash promises and do not bring matters before God. After all, God is in heaven and you are in earth. So let your words be few. Because some of us talk too much. My minister always quotes the scripture about Right. Absolutely. Under promise and over deliver. But he always quotes the scripture where it says you have to learn to be quiet. And that's the season I'm in. I am learning to be quiet because I want to talk about everything. And I just got to learn to be quiet. And so then also the last verse we have, and wrapping this up with this, is Ecclesiastes 5:6. It says, it is better to say nothing than to make a promise and not keep it. Do not let your mouth make you sin, and do not defend yourself by telling the temple messenger that the promise you made was a mistake, that God will make anger and he might wipe out everything you have achieved. Just think, if just because you didn't keep one promise, everything you've achieved is now wiped away from you. That will make us start thinking more carefully about what we say. And it can be, like I said, something as small as I'm going to take my child to Chuck E. Cheese and she remember I had on the tight green dress when I told her we were going. But we have to just be mindful of what we say. Say what you mean what you say. And like you said, Jasmine, you know, under promise and over deliver. So that's it, y'all. This is quick because, like I said, this has been the day from the underworld. I don't know, but like I said, on Wednesdays, I feel like I tell y'all that every Wednesday. Like, I feel like the darts and the attacks. I got my hair done. You see, it's sticking up. That was a whole ordeal. And I told her, because she was just coming at me with these darts. And she told me I was a white girl. Like, it was dark heaven today. And I said, you know what, sweetheart, the enemy is so busy. You don't know what hell I went through to get from my door to your door. You don't know what people have been saying about me for the last several days. And then here you come hurling more insults. And she was like, you really think these are insults? I was like, yeah, they are. And, but I was proud in that moment that I was mastering to be quiet. Because I tell y'all all the time, I'm still just a girl from X and 9. Both places, X and 9 in Detroit and X and 9 in Alabama. I live off X and 9 now too. I'm still just a girl from X and 9. And so that struggle is so definitely real, to just keep my lips together and just have a hum. While she was doing my hair, I just kept going, And so it was a struggle, but I got through it. And I thank you. You got to have people that God sends you rams in the bush. So my personal April sent me a text and said, you worrying about somebody, don't know, you know, I can't even remember what it said, but I needed it in the moment. It was a video she sent me, and it was supposed to be like Jesus telling you tripping on somebody, you missing sleep over somebody who ain't even thinking about you. And I had to get there. I had to get to that place, like, you tripping about this. This ain't your battle. Keep moving on. So, but that's it, y'all, with my flyaways. They is up there today. I look like alfalfa. But I thank you guys for always tuning in and always supporting. And I will see you in a little while. Well, next week, Lord's will. All right. Bye.